Hi, Sebu. I can't hear anyone, but if you have something to share on the discussions, on the question that I posed earlier, these questions, please feel free to, type in your discussions or and feedbacks on this question. The first one, we are on the first question, which is where we are now in terms of the local, the actions that are currently happening relating to sustainability, local and nature-based solutions, green recovery, and COVID-19, as well as the low carbon development. Okay, I can't see any no comments coming from the group, but I'll just start off. So some of the things like we are seeing now today is the work that the youths are doing in terms of Samu, over to you.
Okay, sorry. No, I think Kate answered my question. It's just that because people coming in and out, just that we know if you want to speak, you can. So you need to raise your hand, and then you'll be accepted into the group, so you can talk. I was just raising just to clarify that. I think Kate explained on top. So it's either you can
Okay.
raise your hand and talk, or you can just put your comment on the chat or your questions. Then we'll take note of it. Yeah, thanks, Sharon. Back.
Thanks, Sammy. Okay, to everyone, so apologies for that. So the questions, I'm not sure if everyone's seeing the discussion question that I've shared. Are you able to see my screen? If you are able to see it, please kindly indicate it in the chat group. If not, let me know also in the chat group. And if you want to share something relating to our discussion point, our question today, please raise your hand, and then I can add you to, I can give you the permission, and then you will be able to share your point of discussion. So our first question today around this theme is where we are. So in relation to the to the pillar sustain, based on your understanding or based on your experiences, like what is the current situation, what is currently happening in our region or even globally in relation to sustaining DRM and climate change programs, local and nature-based solutions, green recovery, and and COVID-19 and low carbon development throughout the Pacific. So the floor is yours. Please, this is an open space for us to discuss. So we welcome your views. And if you are unable to speak, you can post your question or your point of discussion in the chat group. Okay, so in some of the examples of where we are now, I'll just start from just to start off the discussions. So some of the things that are currently, okay, I think I've shown someone's hand. I've seen okay, Gemma, over to you from PNG. Hi Gemma, you are on mute, but the floor is yours. I think you are still on mute. Hi Gemma, we can't hear you. Okay. Okay, I think I can hear Gemma, so I'm so sorry about all this technical difficulty. But the first discussion point for us is around in terms of sustain. What are some of the things that you are seeing the youths, are engaging in currently? And the second question is where do you want to see, or what do you want to see in the next future, like what Kim has shared today? I'm trying to share my. Yes, Samu.
Sorry, sir.
I can't hear Gemma.
Sa kasi nagdugya ko ko sa kaniya. To kani queste. Yes. Sa ka pa sa may man. Otin na tiko PNG ka sa may man. Sandi na ka kay man. Kung ko may kita primary concept, you come to do your home. Waktu kami balau tak ada. Kita sira, betul nanti mana kena kacang gitu. Ya kan deh. Itu satu kali ramah mungkin tuh bisa kamu suka sarang itu.
Hi, Sharon. Would you like to unmute yourself just so everyone can hear you? And everyone, just so you know, these sessions are for everyone to get involved and discuss the topics. So if you do have questions, please put them either in the chat or you will see a small hand button at the bottom of the screen, and you can use that to raise your hand, and Sharon will let you into the session so you can discuss the points. But just remember to unmute yourself when you're brought into the session. Thanks, Sharon. I'll let you carry on.
Thank you, Kate. I hope all the participants get your. Thank you so much. Anais.
Hi,
The floor
Sharon.
is yours. I saw you raised your hand earlier.
I raised my hand to see if you were able to see me, and I just wanted to put Gemma on the spot because she has a question for everybody here, and so it's pretty straightforward to raise hand and contribute to the discussion, gang. So I think. Gemma, over to you with your question. You know, you also posted it in the chat, but you may want just to say it out loud to get this conversation started. Thank you.
Gemma, you on mute. Can you unmute yourself and then share your discussion point? Thank you. I guess I can respond to your question. Others can share their views as well on the question around COVID. So Gemma posted a question in our chat group saying, is it voluntary or is it necessary for everyone to take the vaccine because the government says so? I guess from scientific articles that have been already published, even though it is your own right, voluntary to, you know, whether you want to do the vaccine or not, there's been strong advocacy around getting the vaccine because I guess that's the safest way to be, even to protect yourself as well as your family and those around you. So, I mean, that's my view around vaccination. And the vaccine won't make you not to catch the virus, but it will reduce your level or the rate of hospitalization in terms of getting COVID. So I would say that while it's not mandatory, it's voluntary. I think it's strongly, you need to, if you want to protect yourself and those around you and those you care about, the vaccine is, you have to take it. Well, that's my view. But our point of discussion today is when we discuss COVID, we also look at what are, some of the actions that are happening currently and what where do you want to see us go with those in terms of sustainability and addressing those issues around nature-based solutions. There are cases in Fiji where the government is also, engaging in this, the nature-based solutions, building of sea walls that are, based with natural stuff. So I guess there are lots of examples and activities happening in the region already around that. But our discussion today is around where do you want us to go from there if you've seen things happen. I think I've been talking too much, so I'll leave it to the floor if anyone has. I didn't see any hands raised, so maybe I could also defer to Samu or Samuel to share some of the experiences in terms of what Red Cross is doing and others that are on the call as well.
Wala mo ko na nag-message niya. Sabi mo ikaw. Dati ba? Okay daw, spelling error mo.
Thank you. I don't know if you can hear me, but I guess I agree with Sharon. There's pretty much a lot is happening on the ground. Specifically for COVID, it's still new to most of us. Even us in Fiji, we are battling. And furthermore, I believe the question raised by Gemma is a yes to both. Is it voluntary? I believe yes, as for our countries. But when you consider the importance, then the aspects of necessary will come into play that we need to be vaccinated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Samu. I've added you again, Gemma, into the speakers portal, but you're still on mute. I'm so sorry about that. We also have RMI Hub here. If RMI Hub wants to share anything based on our discussion topic today. It would be interesting to hear views from our RMI youths as well. And we also have the Youth Hub from Pohnpei. And we also have Samoa Youth Hub. So maybe I'll just kindly ask if Samoa Youth Hub can share their views. I'm sure I've seen pictures that there are quite a lot of young people there and a lot of attendees there. So it would be great to hear your views on our discussion topic today, which is around sustainability, local and nature-based solutions, green recovery and COVID, low carbon development. And our questions are around where, based on your understanding and what you know, the current situation in relation, what is the current situation in relation to sustaining DRM and climate change programs, local and nature-based solutions, green recovery, and COVID and low carbon development. And the second one is, where do you want to go? Based on the first, your views on the first one, where do you see as the Pacific community heading, or where do you want us to ensure that we're sustaining DRM and climate change programs across the region? I think I'm not seeing anyone putting their hands up, so. So for those who have just joined, if you want to say something, you'll use the raise your hand button, and then I'll add you on into the speaker portal, and then you can share your views. I saw 14 people on the call, but I couldn't hear anyone. I'm speaking to myself, so. Hi, Kate. Is it okay to add people to the chat, to the speaker space without raising their hands? Hi, everyone. It's like everyone is so silent on our group. I'm sharing the discussion questions again. So based on this pillar, these are the questions that we will be discussing. And I think our time is running out as well. So if you have something to share with us, which is the purpose of our breakout rooms today, please kindly raise your hand and I will add you to the, or you can put your comments in the chat group. Hi everyone. There is a question by Tia in the chat. Miriam, I've given the floor to you. If you can share your views, and then we'll go on to Tia's question. I guess Tia's question is for all of us. So I'll give it to you, Miriam. Over to you.
Hi guys, thank you very much, Sharon. Sorry, I just actually joined the chat group. Very poor connectivity here. I'd just like to comment on the pillar 4, sustainability, local and nature-based solutions on the green recovery and COVID-19. Just to comment, COVID-19, as it entered our borders, it had really affected most of employment, especially those in the tourism sector. And since that happened, most actually go back to their villages or their communities at home. And this puts a lot of pressure on our environment, especially on the ecosystems and their natural resources and the services that the ecosystems provide. My question is, how can we lower the carbon footprint of those returning back to the villages? Basically, transportation. Now it's closed, so we have more increase in demand of food security, sustainability. People over harvest and overexploit resources. Sometimes the management practices that are put in place could be affected. So, that's all. Thank you. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miriam. While you are on the call, there is a question that posed to us in the chat group, around as a young person, where do you see the strength in terms of driving, strength of youth in terms of driving, low carbon footprint or low, carbon development? So some of the things you were saying is around, people going back home and, the carbon footprint from transport. There are also ways that we can, contribute to. So one is around tree planting, because we know that what trees and mangroves do in terms of carbon sink.
Yeah.
And so if you could give your views on some of those areas, and maybe based on what's happening in PNG. Are you from PNG?
No,
sorry. Fiji?
Yes, I'm from Fiji.
Yeah, so just share your experience from what's happening in Fiji in terms of some of the activities that you've seen happening or the ones that you've engaged in. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I've seen a lot of replanting of mangroves and tree planting. I've engaged in a program where we planted trees around the hospital facility in one of the cities here in Fiji, in Lautoka. Being around the hospitals, sometimes when we see something green or something that's more natural, a natural state, it actually helps in recovery. So that was part of the. It was world. Usually, some of these programs take place during World Environment Day, World Mangroves Day. I see a lot of that happening, especially in some tourism industries. They, for sustainability purposes, they replant mangroves, or for example, there is my husband used to work for a hotel, but because of the pandemic, he got laid off. So he was the environmental officer there. And since it's an island, it's the landowners of the island are actually on the mainland. So they have this program where the the tourists, they buy mangrove seedlings. The villagers from the mainland, they actually use those seedlings to plant the mangroves around their coastal areas, and the money that they get from there will actually help in the funding of the program. So, yes.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Miriam, for sharing your views. I got a notification that we will go back to the reporting stage
Okay. Thank you.
in like 2 minutes time. But thank you for sharing. And I think from my personal opinion, in terms of the, where do you see the strength in the youth in driving low carbon? I guess youth have so much potential in terms of the actions that we all can take together as a collective. And as Kim alluded to earlier today, there's like the majority of our people are under the age of 25 and now. So
Yes.
things around planting trees, or even just, using stuff like your desire not to use plastics and to,
Yes,
use
exactly.
ecological, like maybe reusable bags and all those things. Those can make a really big difference, in just our actions towards what is happening and addressing climate change. So I think we only have a minute left, so we might go back to the breakout sessions. But if you have other things that you want to share and we haven't touched on it today, there's one there in terms of youth investments and in terms of addressing ecological degradation and recovery. So thank you, Sonny. I think we also note that, and thank you all.